some need, I need the money, I need to breathe, I need the honest, I need little bitch that I'm out of her league, out of her league. Yeah, Jordan. I got some needs. I need the money, like I need to breathe. I need some honest and I need to scheme. I need the W by any means. Yeah, that I mean. Tell that little bitch that I'm out of her league. Enough is enough, and I think I'm allergic to suckers. You niggas keep making me sneeze. If them out for blood and I'm making them bleed. You try to run and I'm breaking your knee. I made them fall like I'm ranking the leagues. You know I ball like I play for the league. I mean what I say and I say what I mean. I ain't no joke, we ain't making no memes. If I pull up on them, I'm making a scene. Then I'm making them scream. Straight from the bricks, I need a lick. I drink the body since I was a kid. Nigga unlit, how can I miss? Came from the bottom and got me a check. Bitch, I'm a threat, I got a flex. You want the crime, but don't know what it takes. I am built different, I'm not what you think. I cannot lose, I go out with a bang. I hope you never say my name in vain. I'm with whatever, just not play no games. I know they say I change, I cannot say the same. I bet they want me shackled, they're locked in a chain. I guess that's just what happens with bad news. On my mama, I never been fragile. I'm the wrong way to fuck with this taboo. Turn you niggas to R.I.P. tattoos. Still a young nigga, feel like an OG. Can't forget all the shit that they told me. Tired of niggas thinking that they know me. You gon' turn me back into the old me. You gon' turn me back into a savage. I done did shit you couldn't imagine. Leveled up and then bought me a mansion. I can never go back to what has been. I can never go back to the old days. No way. Back to walking to work on a cold day. Back to thinking my ex was my soulmate. Back to telling myself it'll be okay. We'll be okay. We're surviving no rhyming and OJ. Shorty paying the bills, I had no say. I can never go back to the bottom. To the bottom, selling drugs never know when the cops come. Nigga jealous, they wanted to rob us. I was just trying to give me some dollars, couple dollars. Turn my pennies from hundreds to commas. I'm so happy them days are behind us. I ride by different spots, I get flashbacks. I can't get on your level, I'm past that. Watch me run that shit up, I can go back to none. Trying to get to the top of the world. My nigga went crazy, walked in this corner and seen someone fucking this girl. Fuck all that spinning block, that's a little boy shit we catching, we rocking this world. I let everybody have their fun with me. Never had a woman say she done with me. I was working out on the company. I keep money coming in constantly. My little brother them be having runs for cheap. Trying to get it, I've been on the run for weeks. I think none of you niggas could come for me. Both of my kids got it honestly. I'm the real deal. All the way on half step. Gotta do better than last year. That's my motto. Put a switch on the blick for the auto. Put them things on the plane like a Rollo. Proud to say that I finally changed up. Why the fuck they keep bringing my name up? Cause I'm poppin'. I can never go back to the old days. No way. Back to walking to work on a cold day. Back to thinking my ex was my soulmate. Back to telling myself we'll be okay. We'll be okay. We're surviving our Roman and OJ. I was paying the bills, I had no say. I can never go back to the bottom. To the bottom. Selling drugs, never know when the cops come. Niggas jealous, they wanted to rob us. I was just trying to give me some dollars. Couple dollars. Turn my pennies from 100 to commas. I'm so happy them days are behind us. I'm so happy them days are behind me. I'm so happy the paper don't found me. I done keep some good niggas around me. I got rid of them niggas who down me. Keeping good energy and I'm prayed up. Tunnel vision ain't nothing can phase us. Once you cross me, ain't nothing can save you. Pull that thing out of fucking, it's dangerous. Bitch, I'm dangerous.
Hello, 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 peeps. What's up? Lacey, Wacky, hey. How y'all doing? I got a few things we're going to be talking about tonight. And if there's anything else y'all want to talk about, we can talk about that too. How are y'all? Can y'all hear me good? Everybody done leave me? There's so much stuff going on the tubes. I'm so tired of hearing about fucking Brian Kohlberger, I swear. That's... Yeah, Lacey, yeah. But, yeah, we'll get into that. First, I want to do, I found some things interesting. Not much, just one clip that I want to play about remember the Chinese spy balloon? Because I did cover that. Taken up for a weirdo. Who's the weirdo? Oh yeah, Koberger. Yeah, what the fuck, Lacey? That's crazy, ain't it? What the hell, man? I don't. This is the wildest case I've ever seen. I swear. I'm tired of it, man. Everything I look at, that's why I stay off here a lot. I really do because all the fucking Brian Koberger shit. People are just milking the fuck out of it, and people now thinking he didn't do it. Come on, man. Yeah, I'm sick of that too, Lacey. That's fucking bullshit, man. Lacey, how come you don't have a wrench on this channel? I thought you did. Hold on, let me fix that. Because I thought you had a wrench on here. Maybe it's my other channel. But I don't even really go on that other channel much. Yeah, it gets on my nerves too. It's so obvious he's guilty. It is. Snacks, hey love, how are you? What, wacky with Koberger? Oh my god, I don't really, honestly, I don't even know what's going on because I haven't watched not one bit of it. Not one bit of it. I really don't know what they're accusing him of or what he's done or what's come out, or it's just too much for me. I don't know. I'm just tired of the Koberger bullshit. It's on the other one. Okay, I got you, Lacey, baby. Let's see it. There you go. I'm glad you're doing good, Snacks. It's really, really, really good to see you, love. It is. Yeah, they don't know what's going on with him, Lacey. It's what they're trying to do. I bet they're trying to get a damn mistrial on this, is what I feel. Hey, Sonia. Hey, baby. Mama Sonia. Wacky, I'm behind on the Idaho 4 too, and I don't even want to be caught up on it. I'm serious. I'm over that case. Honestly, I don't care what happens in the end. I don't care if he gets off with it. I don't care because it's just I don't know. It's fucking wild to me. I have no idea this new stuff that's come out. I can't follow it. It's too much for me. It's just, I don't know. I think it'll get a mistrial too, Allie. I do. I believe that's what they're aiming for. I really, really do. Yep, Lacey, I agree, love. Just from what I'm seeing, because I've never seen a case like this, and a lot of us has followed these true crime cases, and I have never seen nothing like this case. Never. Right, Wacky, they don't talk about nothing about the fires, and the aliens, they're not talking about the aliens no more, the UFOs and shit, that's gone, because Ocean Gate shit took it over, and it's just a fucking mess, man. Yeah, I do want him locked up forever. You can look at him, right, Lacey? Because killers like that, they have a look. Every single one of them have a look to them. And the way he's just so calm and his eyes are just so dead. And remember when they were in court or whatever that day and he just smirked at his lawyer, that little smirk he had? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a red herring too to distract the aliens. I do. And I feel I need to get into that more, go on Reddit and stuff. I want to do something just on that. I got a few things I'm going to go over on it here too, but not. I've been scrubbing my house top to bottom. I've been working on my business shit, but I've been so damn busy, And last weekend was a hell of a weekend. But I do want to get into that more of the Reddit stuff on all that. And on the girl, the 19-year-old that had the baby. Damn duct tape. What the fuck? People are crazy, ain't they? Did y'all see that video I posted of the footage that they were pulling out? Here, I want to play this about the spy balloon real quick and get it out of the way. Because it's just one clip. It's nothing really, but.
With that,
using our own tech against us. Turns out the Chinese spy balloon that floated over the U.S. earlier this year used American technology to help collect information. Analysis from several federal agencies confirms the balloon's intended use was to spy on Americans. That balloon carried a mix of American and Chinese equipment, but it appears it may have been shot down before any data was sent back to China. Hal Kempfer is a retired Marine intelligence officer and CEO of Global Risk Intelligence and Planning, joins us live. Thank you, Hal. So China, of course, initially claimed this was a weather balloon, but at this point, is there any chance this was not being used for spying?
Nicole, there's no chance. It was absolutely a surveillance balloon.
I wonder now, maybe they was spying for the aliens, the UFO, or I don't know. I always believe shit like this because it just comes out that it's connected somehow. And I believe the alien stuff's real. I do. Do y'all believe stuff about the alien and UFOs? I've always said that we are the aliens on this country or on this planet. We're the aliens.
Balloon. It was being used for spying. Whether that was originally the intended course that it went on, or whether it got caught in the jet stream and ended up going over some of those places, that's still to be determined. But based on the intelligence gathered from the intelligence collector, if you will, from what we were able to pull off the bottom of the ocean when it went down, we've had a chance to look at it. It's very clear it was a surveillance balloon. It was a spy balloon by definition.
Oh, it's so good that we were able to retrieve some of that. Hal, what does the mix of equipment, though, reveal to you? You know, we know some of it was Chinese made, but I mean, I think the big headline is some of it was American made.
Well, the Pentagon's not saying a lot about that. What it is saying, from what I can tell, it's not classified technology. Right now, with drones and satellites, there's a tremendous amount of very high quality surveillance technology that's used in the commercial realm. Firms like Planet Earth that do satellites and around the world have these things. And so they buy this, what they call COTS, commercial off-the-shelf technology. It's available. Some of the stuff we probably don't want to go to China, and we certainly don't want to see it used in this application. But there are limits to what we can do. There is world trade. China's a major player. And some of the stuff they can just literally buy off the shelf and then ship it back to China, and it's being used in this particular application.
All right, so Hal, you mentioned something in your last answer there that the Pentagon's not revealing a lot. We know Chinese officials have hinted if U.S. investigators do make that public, Beijing could be forced into a strong reaction. So that is the focus, that strong reaction potentially. What could that look like?
Well, Beijing has been threatening strong reactions for just about everything that happens these days. What they could do is they could try to slap some sanctions on the U.S., similar to the sanctions that we impose on them in reverse. They could restrict some investments in certain areas. They could do a lot of things in the commercial realm. And from what I can tell, that's probably what they're alluding to. I'm not seeing a military action, although I will say this. There are these spy balloons flying over the Pacific, particularly in areas around Taiwan, Japan, and other areas. And with that, Taiwan and Japan have indicated they may take action. In fact, Japan has been very specific. They may shoot one down. And that's where it starts to get into the military realm. That's what makes everybody a little bit nervous.
Absolutely. My last question for you, is there any chance that these findings will eventually, at some point, become public?
Perhaps. I don't think they're going to talk about everything in there. Certainly the more sensitive Chinese technology, we may want to hold on to the information on that, because we don't want them to know what we know specifically.
You know, they said, oh, is it going to be public? I think as American citizens, we deserve to know what the fuck is going on. This needs to be public, because I feel like when they don't want it to go public, that's when they're hiding something. We are entitled to this information about our country. And what's going on is not fucking fair, and it's what pisses me off about it.
Specifically, leave some doubt in that arena. As far as some of the U.S. systems, there may be a reason at some point to actually reveal that, to give the public and to give Congress a better idea of what it is. And it may not pose any threat to national security in order to do so, but time will tell. There's a lot of decisions that have to be made. and they don't want the Chinese to really know everything that we know about the balloon and how much we recovered.
Absolutely not. All right, Hal Kemper, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find new.
Sorry, you'll hear my little wieners. They're outside barking at I don't know what. Yeah, that's what they're going to nuke us, Lacey. I feel that with all my heart. We're going to get nuked. I agree, Allie. I agree, Allie. Hey, Sunshine Love, Unc. Anybody else I missed coming in? Mama Sonia. I just feel we should know what's going on. They should say, oh, if it comes public. Do y'all think that too, that we need to know every bit of this? It's not fair to hold us from that. Right, they don't want China to know that, but blast it, that's true. But, yeah, it blows my mind. And now, look how long it's been since the first Chinese spy balloon. Then we didn't hear nothing about it. Now we're hearing about it again. Because this is recent. We, as Americans, I don't care what people says, we are entitled to know what the fuck's going on with our country. We're going to be blindsided, exactly. Right, Allie, they do. It's not right. And I think that's why they're trying so hard to keep Trump out of office, because y'all already know. Right, Unc. It'll be over. By the time we know, yep. That's why I think we are entitled to know what's happening. They're keeping it from us, and by the time we do know, we'll be gone. If they nuke us or whatever, that bingo, Unc. I absolutely agree with it's crazy. Right, Lacey. Exactly. Good point, Allie. That's a good point. And, like with TikTok, I think that's why they're trying so hard to get rid of TikTok. It's all just so fucking crazy, man. But it just blows my mind this Chinese spy balloon wasn't talked about for months, and now all of a sudden it's coming back into the picture whenever the Titan submersible happened. Before that, it was the UFO aliens, and I really believe that UFO ordeal. I really do. Because there's been whistleblowers, and yeah, I really believe it. It is messed up, Sunshine. Yeah, Biden, and then they want to go after Trump. Come on. What about Biden? He ain't no fucking better. What about Hunter and his laptop deal? What happened with that? That's kind of gone out of the news now, too. It's fucking insane. Bingo. You read was in each other's mind right there, Lacey. Exactly. They're trying to take it away from that. Because Biden had documents, too, just like Trump. Then there's Hunter's laptop, and yep. It's all crazy to me, man. I get so heated over this. Okay, and let's see here. What do I got now? Let me see. Where is the... Are you fucking serious? There it is. Okay, now this video I'm going to show, we're going to talk about the Titan submersible a little bit now. No, this here is a video that video shows how the implosion likely happened. I think all this, like y'all said, it's a red herring and smoke and mirrors, and they're trying to distract us from what's really going on. Yep, doing deals with Ukraine, right? Right, Lacey. How could they go to the bottom of the ocean and get all that? But there's no they couldn't get something to go down there before they found the particles. But remember that what was it? The Navy had reported right whenever it imploded, and nobody told nobody, and they went through all that search and some crazy shit.
The latest now on the tragic end to the search for that submersible carrying 5 people to the wreckage of the Titanic. The Coast Guard saying that Titan submersible suffered an apparent implosion, killing all 5 people on board. We're now getting a look at how that implosion happened. Ashley Rodriguez with our Fox 5 New York team has been covering this and joins us now with the latest. Ashley, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, good morning, Josh. Yeah, sadly, we're learning that some experts were not surprised by the implosion. They believe the Titan.
Lacey, those big pieces were made of they wouldn't have that carbon fiber stuff. They were like of steel or something or whatever. But the main part of it was made of carbon fiber. Why wasn't the whole thing made of that? You know what I mean? And I'm going to show, and like in the pictures I showed, like the window, the view window that they had of to see the Titanic stuff, it was gone. It was busted out. I don't know. None of this, I don't know. It's just fucking weird to me.
Titan's hull, which is made up of carbon fiber, began to crack under pressure, under all that water. And they say the company was warned about this as far back as 2018.
Authorities are looking into what could have gone wrong on the Titan submersible only an hour and 45 minutes into the tourist trip to the Titanic wreckage. In this video obtained by Fox 5 and created by Brad Perry of Starfield Studio, you can see a simulation of what possibly took place due to the high amount of pressure causing the sub to crumble in about 30 milliseconds. All 5 passengers inside are assumed to have been killed instantly.
It just implodes in, the pressure gives in. The deeper you go, the more pressure. It's 44 pounds per square inch for every 100-foot change.
Those who knew the victims say they died doing what they loved.
You sort of think of people as they retire, then they can go on and do things that they love to do. This was
okay. They say those that died doing what they loved. That 19-year-old didn't want to go on there. He didn't die doing what he loved. What he wanted to do was solve the Rubik's Cube. How could they dare say that?
Exactly that for him.
But new reports say the youngest passenger, 19-year-old Suleiman Dawood, was terrified to get into the vessel, but he did it to please his dad, Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood, who was also on board. The voyage took off last Sunday on Father's Day. Titanic director James Cameron, part owner of Triton Submarines and a deep-sea explorer, says the deaths on board Ocean Gate's vessel were tragic and
I seen somewhere, I was trying to find it, I can't remember where it was. Someone had said that because these were all million and billionaires, that someone else went down there in a submersible kind of like this and exchanged, I don't know, the people or something, and like a kidnapping, because these were rich people. I'm horrible at explaining stuff, but does that make sense? Kind of like the pirates, getting them down there and sending an empty one to implode, because it's wild. All these top billionaires and millionaires was on the one that imploded. I think they're all going to be on an island over there with Tupac and Elvis.
And unnecessary in light of the company being repeatedly warned about its experimental approach to deep sea diving.
So OceanGate shouldn't have been doing what it was doing. I think that's pretty clear. I wish I had been more vocal about that.
Now, OceanGate has declined to comment on its safety record so far. And in the meantime, the Transportation Safety Board of Canada is now launching an investigation into the implosion, Josh.
Yeah, and we are hearing from several different folks who have said that they provided a warning. They said that this just did not appear to be a safe situation. Even one guy I talked to, a multimillionaire who pulled out of the trip at the last minute, said he did so because it just did not seem safe. And as I mentioned, it sounds like we're hearing that from other folks as well.
Okay, so experts say that wrongful death and negligence lawsuits are likely. They could be successful, but the big thing to keep in mind is a challenge to any lawsuit would be that all of the passengers definitely signed waivers that warn them that things could go wrong and even result in their death. So there's that as well.
That's definitely an interesting.
Okay. Allie, I've got that link pulled up and we are going to watch that one real quick. I know I just... I don't know. You know, I think NASA, Allie, I'd really love if Thor's daughter could talk to you about NASA and do that. We really need to get up with her and do that on your channel. And oh, this is someone doing a live stream right now on this. Here, we'll go back. Let me speed it up a little bit. Okay, we'll go back and watch that one. I don't want to do it while they're live. Let's see here. But we will watch that one, Allie, in just a second, because it's kind of long. Let's see here. Yeah, Allie, we really need to get her. Oh, you're good, sunshine. You're good, love. Okay, and here's one on how the body reacts to pressure in a situation like this. Well, that was some weirdest shit I ever seen right there. Go ahead, Brit Lab. Go figure. Fucking Brits, man. Weird fucks. Okay, let's see here. Okay, and this one here is next one I play is The Simpsons. It's so wild how The Simpsons, so much stuff that they've done all those years ago have came true. It's just wild to me. Because that looked like just a fucking blow-up doll. Fucking Brits. I'm sorry if any Brits are on here, but they're just, they think they're fucking know-it-alls, and they're not very bright, in my opinion. Especially whenever they think they know more about America than we do, and we live here. Dumb fucks. Yeah, The Simpsons tripped me out too. It's weird about The Simpsons, man. It totally gets my interest. Isn't that crazy though? It's really fucking wild to me. The Simpsons, yeah. I want to look more into that too. I want to do like a live about the Simpsons, all the things that they predicted and it really happened, you know, and I'd like to do a live on that too. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, but Homer, he predicted it. Let's see. Okay, now here's one. About the human remains. Okay, do y'all remember whenever they said that when it imploded, that the bodies imploded into millions, thousands of pieces or whatever, and there would never be none? But now they all of a sudden got human remains? Yes, Lacey, right. That's what I'm saying. There's just so much. So much. But I don't get how 1 minute they say the human remains would be imploded into millions of pieces and you never find body. Then all of a sudden they find human remains.
Breaking news that is coming into us in just the last couple of minutes here, because we are hearing from the Coast Guard in an official statement saying they have recovered what they describe as human remains from that Titan mini-sub wreckage. Medical experts are set to conduct an analysis in the next few days. It comes as we're getting the first look at some of the pieces from that catastrophic implosion. Look at this. You can see it here. Pieces of steel, chunks of metal, what looks like electrical wires being lifted off this ship at a Canadian Coast Guard pier up in St. John's. These pieces were found by an ROV, a remote operated vehicle. It's been on the ocean.
Okay, so how come that remote operated vehicle couldn't go down whenever it first went missing? Because they were saying there's nothing that can go to that depth, you know, and recover it. If they can recover this wreckage off the bottom of the ocean, then how come they couldn't recover the Titanic wreckage? Just saying.
Floor looking for any wreckage like this. Investigators hope this will provide some clues as to what happened before this sub imploded, killing, of course, all 5 people who were on board. Ron Allen is joining us now. Ron, what else are we hearing from the Coast Guard tonight?
Well, it's surprising that they're saying that there are these presumed human remains that were found along with the other debris.
Jerry said presumed
There on the ocean floor. Back last week when this was all happening, they described this catastrophic implosion as so violent at such depths that it was unlikely that there would be anything recovered, let alone any sign of human remains.
Bingo. It's, yeah.
Of the 5 who perished in this accident. So that's really startling that they have announced this just a few moments ago. So that, along with the other debris here that's been pulled up by the salvage company, is headed to investigators as they try to figure out what caused this to happen. As you know, there was a lot of speculation, a lot of criticism of the company, OceanGate, the CEO, Stockton.
Okay, and look at that picture right there. All that stuff's like kind of intact. If it imploded, why didn't all them wires and all that stuff go elsewhere? Why are they all still like right there together?
A lot of criticism of the company, OceanGate, the CEO, Stockton Rush, the pilot who also died on this voyage on the submersible, because this craft had not been independently certified, safety certified by any of the maritime agencies that do that sort of thing. It wasn't required to, as it was operating out in international waters. But there was some criticism from within and outside of the company suggesting that it wasn't.
And I still don't get why they could recover this off of the ocean bottom, because they said that the debris was not very far from the Titanic. Now, why couldn't they recover the Titanic? You know, even if it's bits and pieces, they can recover this, and they both were on the ocean floor pretty close to each other. Fuck out of here.
that the vessel shouldn't be operating at those depths, some 2.5 miles down, to see the Titanic wreckage with passengers aboard, that it wasn't safe. And then we had this catastrophic accident last week. So more for the investigators to look at. The U.S. Coast Guard is leading the investigation. They've convened what's called a Marine Board of Investigation, which is the highest level of investigation that the Coast Guard can organize. It's a multinational effort. The Canadians, the French, the British are all involved in this because they had nationals aboard the submersible, or because they are involved in this rescue and search and recovery operation as it evolved into over the past number of days. The salvage company says that its operations out there to bring back more debris have ended. So they apparently have what they're going to have, and they're going to try and start piecing this together to see what happened. It's not just about the cause. They're trying to determine if there should be more regulations regarding these submersibles, which are largely unregulated, particularly when they operate so far out in international waters. And again, a lot of criticism of the company, OceanGate, the CEO, the pilot, the material that this craft was made out of, which is not typical. It was carbon fiber, not steel and titanium. So again, a lot of questions, and this big development today that there are, in fact, apparently.
And they said that Stockton Rush had another submersible like this, and he redone it to the one that got imploded. So it's, I don't know, that's kind of weird to me. Why would he do that and use carbon fiber material? If you are that smart and all this or whatever, and with NASA and all this bullshit, you know carbon fiber is not going to fucking hold up that many times going down. Hey, Robin. Hey, love.
Apparently human remains that have been recovered as well. Very unlikely.
Ron Allen, thank you very much for bringing us up to speed. As you say, that's all coming into us late tonight. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's.
It just don't make no sense to me. This is, I feel like the pirates got them down there. That's true, Allie. But still, you know. And like, I don't know much about it, but I heard people saying it was the, the Odyssey or something. That it wasn't really the Titanic. I don't know. I don't know much about that, but I don't know. None of it just makes fucking sense to me. Let's see here. Okay, here's one. I don't remember if I've played this one, but the 19-year-old is the one that breaks my heart more than any of them. And, you know, here goes the damn Brits again. But this one here is about the 19-year-old in the Rubik's Cube. And, yeah, the Olympic.
In an exclusive interview, Christine Dawood, who lost her husband and son when a submersible imploded in the Atlantic last week, has told the BBC she was supposed to be on board, but gave her place to her 19-year-old son. Shahzada and Suleiman Dawood were among the 5 men who were on board the Titan. Christine Dawood has been speaking to Nomi Iqbal.
The sentence, "we lost comm," I think that would be a sentence I would never want to hear in my life again. Like lost comm, as in we lost communication.
Were you aboard the vessel? Were you here?
Yes, I was on board the vessel. I was on the ship. I think I lost hope when we passed the 96 hours mark. That's when I lost hope. And that's when I even then I sent a message to my family on shore. I said, I'm preparing for the worst. That's when I lost hope. But my daughter, for example, she didn't lose hope until until the call with the Coast Guard, when they basically informed us that they found debris.
Tell me just some memories that you have of your boy.
So he would not go anywhere without his Rubik's Cube. So he used to teach himself through YouTube how to solve the Rubik's Cube, and he was really fast at it. I think his best was 12 seconds or something like that.
What were your last moments or words that you shared with your husband and son? Do you remember that?
Well, we just hugged and joked, actually, because...
Yeah, Robin, Stockton Rush, the inventor of the Titan, his wife was a great-great-granddaughter or something of the inventor of the Titanic, I believe, or yeah.
Shahzada was so excited to go down. He was like a little child.
Was that a lifelong dream of his to do?
Yes, absolutely. He had this ability of childlike excitement. So they both were so excited.
And how did Mum feel about it, or were you excited as well?
I was really happy for them because both of them, they really, really wanted to do that for a very long time. So it was supposed to be Shahzada and I going down. And then I stepped back and gave the space to Suleiman because he really wanted to go.
This, again, seems like a really difficult question to ask, but how do you begin to...
Okay, that don't make sense right there. She said that her son really wanted to go, but hasn't it been said numerous times that he didn't, that he done it for his father for Father's Day? Let me back that up and listen to that again.
Long time. So it was supposed to be Shahzada and I going down. And then I stepped back and gave the space to Suleiman because he really wanted to go.
This, again, seems like a really difficult question to ask, but how do you begin to get closure? If that's even possible.
Is there such a thing? I don't know. I think he started so many amazing projects. He was involved in so many, he helped so many people. And I think Aline and I really want to continue that legacy.
Is there anything else you want to add, Christine?
That I miss them. That I really, really miss them.
It's just all so sad, man. The 19-year-old is the one that breaks my heart. Right, Allie. If there's no conspiracies, then there's no coincidences. I don't believe in coincidences, and I believe in conspiracies, though. I mean, you know, I'm not like, you know what I mean, Allie. Y'all know. I got to go get my little wieners real quick. They're outside raising hell at something. Give me just a couple minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Hey, Nikki love. Nikki, if you don't get notifications, unsub to me and resub and hit all notifications, because sometimes that'll trigger it. I couldn't do an interview either, Robin. And you know, I know everybody responds to grief different, but I would have been bawling my eyes out doing that. Allie said that. Yeah, I would be losing my shit. It's crazy. Okay, now this next one here is it's called the Ocean Gate Titan Disaster, exposing the lies surrounding the Titan submersible. Okay, and we are gonna watch some of this. I've watched a little bit of it and it's kind of interesting. Like, I try not to watch too much because I like watching it with you all. And yeah, I'd be in a mental hospital too. Could be, Allie. Could be. They're trying to, you know, because Trump was calling out Biden and Hunter Biden's laptop and all that whenever he got indicted, and something's going on.
The disappearance and subsequent catastrophic implosion of the Titan submarine has sent shockwaves through recent history, leaving many unsettled. This tragic event has sparked concerns about the safety of the vessel and the depths to which people venture to explore the remnants of the Titanic, which sank in 1912. Out of the 10 sea vessels capable of reaching depths of 4,000 meters or more, the Titan, owned by OceanGate, was the only one lacking certification from any regulatory body, as reported by the BBC. Prior to the incident, industry experts and even a senior employee within OceanGate had expressed warnings about the potential risks and safety of the submersible. Undoubtedly, a journey to explore the Titanic wreckage at a depth of 3,700 meters remains one of the most sought-after and perilous expeditions globally. It is both a popular and inherently dangerous undertaking. It is worth noting that only a limited number of individuals, fewer than 250, have had the opportunity to personally witness the remains of the Titanic, a discovery made 75 years after its tragic sinking. The rarity and historical significance of such an experience contribute to its allure, despite the inherent risks involved. James Cameron, the renowned filmmaker behind the iconic film Titanic, has a deep fascination with shipwrecks, which played a pivotal role in inspiring his creation of the movie. Titanic went on to win the Best Picture Oscar in 1998, solidifying its place in cinematic history. Cameron's personal interest in the subject has led him to embark on an impressive 33 dives to explore the wreckage of the Titanic firsthand, as reported by USA Today. He even built a submersible, the Deep Sea Challenger, which cost a fortune for the sake of researching the wreckage and descending into the deadly netherworld of the deep sea. Many were so interested in the submersible that they went on to do extensive research about it, and were completely stunned when they found out that it was such a well-built and delicate piece of machinery. During one of his dives in 1995, Cameron found himself on his third expedition, accompanied by submersible pilot Dr. Anatoly Sogolovich and a Russian engineer. However, their underwater exploration took an unexpected turn when they encountered a sandstorm on the ocean floor. This unexpected event highlights the unpredictable nature of deep-sea expeditions and the challenges that can arise even for seasoned individuals in such extreme environments. Anatoly said, "Oh no, something you never want to hear a pilot say, and we locked eyes for a second," Mr. Cameron recalled in his 2009 biography, The Futurist. Following the unexpected descent, Mr. Cameron and his crew patiently waited for approximately half an hour before attempting another ascent. On their second try, the sub halted its ascent at a depth of 80 feet. Compounded by the relentless water current pushing them away from the Titanic, the crew encountered additional difficulties. Undeterred, they made a third and final attempt. During their third ascent, the crew witnessed the sub successfully rising above the 80 feet mark and away from the near-freezing temperatures of the deep ocean. After a challenging and grueling 5-hour journey, the submarine finally broke the surface, bringing relief and concluding their eventful expedition. On another dive, he described becoming trapped in the wreck for 16 hours, as the ocean's strong undercurrents held his submarine at the bottom of the ocean. He later mused that he had probably spent more time on the Titanic than the captain did back in the day. These events serve as a testament to the unpredictable nature and potential risks associated with deep-sea exploration. Earlier this month, a submersible called the Titan dove into the ocean to see the wreckage of the Titanic. The sub went missing, and after a 4-day-long search, U.S. Coast Guard Rear Adm. John Mauger said the sub experienced a catastrophic implosion, according to CNN. Stockton Rush, Shahzada Dawood, Suleiman Dawood, Hamish Harding, and Paul Henry Nargeolet are presumed dead, per NBC News. The day the sub went missing, U.S. Navy personnel heard what was thought could be the sound of the implosion, and then later a debris field was found, according to the Wall Street Journal. It's believed the sub imploded the Sunday it went missing. Cameron was aware that top-secret U.S. Navy listening devices had detected an implosion near the Titanic wreckage within an hour of it occurring on Monday, and has since described the search for the 5 crew members as a nightmarish charade. He has also claimed that the Titan crew would have known that the submersible's hull had started to crack and were trying to resurface when the catastrophic implosion occurred. The 68-year-old told BC News that his contacts within the community had shared details of the mission with him, a reference to the small and close-knit submersible manned underwater vehicle industry. James Cameron, renowned for his contributions to the film industry with movies like Titanic, The Terminator, and the Avatar franchise, has also expressed a deep passion for deep ocean exploration. Despite his success in filmmaking, Cameron has stated that his true love lies in the exploration of the deep sea. Some people think of me as a Hollywood guy, but I make Avatar to make money to do explorations, Cameron told the Daily Telegraph in 2018. The Abyss, one of James Cameron's early films, is often described as a claustrophobic survival thriller centered around the search for a sunken submarine in the Caribbean. The movie showcased Cameron's fascination with the underwater world and the mysteries it holds. In a 1989 interview with the New York Times, during the promotion of The Abyss, Cameron expressed how scuba diving had granted him access to a whole new world. Exploring the depths of the ocean through diving had provided him with unique experiences and insights that fueled his passion for underwater storytelling. Cameron's exploration endeavors reached a significant milestone in 2012 when he became the first person to solo pilot a submarine to the deepest point on Earth, known as Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench. Located approximately 11 kilometers beneath the ocean's surface, this remote and isolated location had only been visited once before by oceanographers Don Walsh and Jacques Piccard in 1960. After completing his solo dive to Challenger Deep, Cameron shared his awe and sense of discovery with the BBC, describing the experience as if he had traveled to another planet and returned. This remarkable achievement further solidified Cameron's reputation as an explorer and adventurer, showcasing his dedication to uncovering the mysteries of the deep sea. In the 2014 documentary Deep Sea Challenge, James Cameron shared his lifelong dream of reaching the world's deepest point, the Mariana Trench, and provided viewers with a captivating glimpse of the journey through his camera lens. The documentary highlighted Cameron's deep fascination with the science and technical aspects of deep sea exploration, shedding light on the immense water pressure and unpredictable ocean currents that pose immediate risks to explorers. Cameron took a hands-on approach to the project, personally overseeing the design and construction of the Deep Sea Challenger submarine. With a price tag of $10 million, this advanced vessel boasted over 180 interconnected onboard systems, encompassing vital components such as batteries, thrusters, life support systems, 3D cameras, and LED light. The meticulous attention to detail and cutting-edge technology integrated into the Deep Sea Challenger underscored Cameron's commitment to ensuring the safety and functionality of the sub in the extreme conditions of the deep ocean. A striking comparison between Cameron's Deep Sea Challenger and OceanGate's Titan can be observed through a side-by-side examination of the vessel's interiors. The differences in design, construction, and technical capabilities serve as a reminder of the distinct approaches taken by Cameron and OceanGate in their respective deep-sea exploration ventures. The Deep Sea Challenger steel pilot sphere features a multitude of advanced safety systems integrated into its inner walls. This emphasis on safety reflects James Cameron's commitment to ensuring the well-being of the crew and the success of deep-sea expeditions. In contrast, a glimpse inside the Titan, operated by OceanGate, reveals a more minimalist interior. OceanGate CEO and founder Stockton Rush can be seen in the sparse hull of the Titan, holding a PlayStation controller with only a screen behind him. The disparity in the design and equipment between the Deep Sea Challenger and the Titan underscores the divergent approaches taken by Cameron and OceanGate in their respective submarine constructions. Cameron's involvement in the deep sea exploration industry extends beyond his filmmaking career. As part owner of Triton Submarines, a company specializing in the production of high-tech submersibles for research and tourism, Cameron has played a role in the development of advanced vessels that have successfully descended to the depths of Challenger Deep on multiple occasions. Recently, Cameron expressed concerns about the construction of the Titan, highlighting the use of carbon fiber composite in its manufacturing as a significant safety concern. He explained that while carbon fiber composite is widely used in aeronautics and sailing, it is not specifically designed to withstand the extreme compression forces experienced during deep-sea dives. Cameron further emphasized that pressure hulls in submarines are typically constructed using materials such as steel, titanium, ceramic, or acrylic, which are better suited for withstanding the immense pressures of the deep ocean. These materials have undergone extensive testing and are proven to provide greater safety and reliability. The concerns raised by Cameron regarding the choice of materials in the construction of the Titan shed light on the importance of utilizing appropriate and tested materials in the design of deep-sea submersibles to ensure the safety and integrity of the vessels and their occupants. We celebrate innovation, right? But you shouldn't be using an experimental vehicle for paying passengers that aren't themselves deep ocean engineers, he told Reuters. He said the wider submersible engineering community had raised concerns about the OceanGate Expeditions vehicle, and that he regretted not going public with his own fears earlier. On Thursday, the U.S. Navy disclosed that their classified acoustic detectors, utilized for tracking enemy submarines, had detected the fatal blast that occurred on Sunday during the incident involving the Titan submarine. Although not providing conclusive evidence, this information was promptly shared with the incident commander to aid in the ongoing search and rescue operation. The Wall Street Journal was the first to report this development. Subsequently, the U.S. Coast Guard announced 4 days later that a remotely operated vehicle had discovered fragments of debris from the Titan on the seabed, approximately 1,600 feet, about 500 meters, away from the bow of the Titanic wreck. This discovery further contributes to the investigation and understanding of the circumstances surrounding the tragic event. The tragic incident involving the Titan submarine resulted in the death of all 5 crew members due to a catastrophic implosion. Contact with the support ship was lost approximately an hour and 45 minutes into the dive before the implosion occurred, according to officials. Filmmaker James Cameron, who has extensive experience in deep-sea exploration, learned about the implosion soon after it happened. Cameron deduced that the sub had imploded. Cameron also communicated via email to colleagues in the manned underwater vehicle industry, stating that the Titan was undoubtedly in pieces at the ocean floor. The system that detected the implosion is typically employed for monitoring enemy submarines, and its identification was withheld by the Navy due to national security concerns, as reported by the Journal. Cameron said the death of his close friend Nargeolet, a 77-year-old experienced adventurer known as Mr. Titanic, was impossible for me to process. He added that he had heard through the community that the Titan had dropped its ascent weights and was trying to manage an emergency when the implosion occurred. They probably had a warning that their hull was starting to delaminating and the hull was starting to crack, Cameron told ABC News in an interview. James Cameron has drawn a parallel between the tragic fate of the Titan sub and the ill-fated ocean liner it was intended to explore. Just as the crew of the Titanic faced a catastrophic event that led to the sinking of the ship, the crew of the Titan experienced a catastrophic implosion that resulted in the loss of their lives. Cameron's comparison highlights the inherent risks and dangers associated with venturing into the depths of the ocean, emphasizing the unpredictable nature of such expeditions and the potential consequences they can entail. I'm struck by the similarity of the Titanic disaster itself, where the captain was repeatedly warned about ice ahead of his ship, and yet he steamed at full speed into an ice field on a moonless night, Cameron told ABC News. Indeed, the sinking of the Titanic was a devastating maritime tragedy, resulting in the loss of approximately 1,500 lives. For decades, the exact location of the wreck remained unknown. However, in 1985, explorer Robert Ballard and his team successfully discovered the remains of the Titanic on the ocean floor. The wreckage was found approximately 640 kilometers off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada, at a depth of 4,000 meters. This groundbreaking discovery shed light on the fate of the Titanic and provided valuable insights into the events surrounding its sinking. The exploration of the Titanic wreck has since captivated the public's imagination and sparked ongoing scientific and historical research. In a recent interview, James Cameron expressed his viewpoint on OceanGate's activities, stating, "It is clear that OceanGate should not have been engaging in what it was doing. I do regret not being more vocal about it, but I was unaware of their lack of certification." Cameron highlighted his concerns about the situation, emphasizing the importance of proper certification for such endeavors. During an interview on Times Radio, Guillermo Sonlin, co-founder of OceanGate, specifically addressed James Cameron's public comments and mentioned him by name. Sonlin acknowledged that there are various opinions and perspectives regarding the methods of designing, engineering, building, and operating submersibles. He emphasized that neither he nor other experts who have been discussing the topic were directly involved in the design, engineering, construction, testing, or diving of the submarines. Consequently, Sonlin argued that it is impossible for anyone to make accurate speculations from an external standpoint. Drawing from his first-hand experience, Sonlin attested to their strong commitment to safety and highlighted that it was ingrained in the company culture. Sonlin played a significant role in the history of OceanGate expeditions. He co-founded the company alongside Stockton Rush and served as its CEO before departing in 2013. Additionally, Sonlin was involved in the development of the predecessor submarines to the Titan, as reported by the Los Angeles Times. His involvement and expertise in the field contribute to his understanding of OceanGate safety practices and operational considerations. The Horizon Arctic, sailing through the narrow entrance of St. John's Harbor, arrived on Wednesday morning carrying the shattered remnants of the Titan submersible. This vessel had captured worldwide attention during a dramatic search for the 5 individuals who had gone missing aboard it. The search concluded with the discovery of debris on the ocean floor, approximately 200 meters away from the Titanic's hull. Regrettably, All 5 passengers are now presumed lost at sea.
Probably 8 arms hanging out there, but it was
Crazy, man. Okay, now we're going to go over and watch what Allie shared earlier. Let me get it up there. Let's see here. It's a little long, but we're going to watch it. Let's see. Right, Squid. Yeah, Ellie, whenever I get into listening, it's hard for me to look at chat too. I'm the same way. I can't multitask like that. My brain, if I have too many tabs open. Okay, let's see here. What we got here.
A little bit of framing, took some welding. Okay, a few of you have written me, and you're not sure about the Titan, how my bottle worked. So I got the welder out. As you can see here, welder, gas, everything else, and that little bit of framing took some welding. Also put a little fairing on it. I'm not sure if that fairing's there or not, just to help you realize that it's got a fairing going to the back with the electronics. This is the front viewing hole. Don't get confused by that. That's where I need to put air into. And it's going that direction. So let's remove this for a second. And once we remove it, we see that it's got 4 legs. I think it has 2 supports to support the rings. All right, so that would be the rings. And this, I haven't been able to affirm that there's actually a brace down there. This I put on loosely. It's just bent. It's under friction. This will be sitting riding on top of these 2 pieces of steel. So this is the Titan. Now let's see if I can explain this to you. All right, this is about overpressure. I want you first to help you understand this. The pressure down there is about 6,500, 7,000 PSI. That's reportedly. So whatever your shape is per square inch, surface square inch, is 7,000 PSI. Now I just want you to imagine that this cap just comes off, all right? And everybody says, oh, it just crushes it at that point. Well, it's still got some resistance here, and it's 7,000 PSI. Some of it wants to go inside of it, and so it reduces when it goes in so fast. It equalizes both sides so quick. Right? Equalizes real quick. So imagine if I grab the bucket and scoop it into some water, a big tub of water. See, it works, doesn't it? I can get right in there. So the bigger the failure, the more fast it is. In this case, I have a problem because the separation of the back part with the leg mounts. It's mounted on the legs on the ring. So this will be a ring wherever you see the legs. All right, it's mounted on there. Again, I'm not sure if this is even mounted. This fairing is mounted at the bottom for the image I saw, but this is what they're mounted here, and I'll show you that in the image in a moment. But I want to talk to you about overpressure. So imagine if you could just do what I'm going to show you. Okay, well, let's go with this image while we're here. So there's that bar that's attached to the, I'm sorry, wrong direction. Back here, this bar is attached to the sub, and this is the back head of it. It's behind here. Well, let's talk about the attachment. So it's attached by these legs right here. All right, this is where when the pressure comes in, this is all it needs is the feet. These are the legs we see come up. As you can see clearly in this image, how they're formed. Very small. This is a 25,000 pound rated fitting, and you can see that it's not much. All right, so my air blowing from the back end of my system defeating this doesn't take much at all. There's not much there. What it will take is loading. The outside pressure over here is also 6,500 psi. So even if I start trying to blow, I'm blowing against 6,500 psi over here. So it doesn't want to blow out that way. It might want to crush it. It's just running against the 6,500, whatever what we call overpressure is. But this becomes a cylinder. As the air is charged in here, it becomes a cylinder away from my forces this way from when I use the air gun in this. So that would be a water pressure coming in this way. Reason why it's so critical to me coming that way, because if I come this way, I don't get to save this. It crushes, explodes. This doesn't come away for free, this bracket. The slipping of the bracket, this is critical to me. Let's look at it again. So to get coordinated, this is the snorkel coming from the top. This is just that band going across the top, and you can see I put that fairing on there, that white part. Here's the motor parts, and its connections are here at the vessel. So that would be this part here that I'm showing. And there's another strap that comes across and touches here. I'm not sure if I'll do that strap by give you a strap there. I'm already got this strap under for you. This one goes under and comes out the other side. I could come over and go there, and then I'd have to put the orange bottles in there to show you how they didn't go through. That they're probably more than likely part of the investigation already. So here you see the sub, we'll say. There's a bar at the bottom, and those legs. All right, and there's a crossbar and then more legs. So it's just this one and these legs here. Removing it. The legs that hold it here. And I think there's something holding up near the front door area. And maybe, I think I actually saw it more missing, if anything, that it was not resting there, but so it'll be resting more on the rings in that case, attached around here. There's the ring that it mounts to here. I'm going to basically start from the point of the rings already failed because I can't have it anchored here and it's too dangerous for me to do my model. So looking at Titan and pretending it's got 7,500 PSI around 6,500, let's go with 6,500 PSI but you can even say they were going back up. That's okay. I don't mind. You just change the location of this PSI. All right. So the 65 PSI all around this area, right? All around the vessel, including on the plastic. And if the plastic is here, it's on this side of the plastic and that side. So that plastic has to be able to take the pressure of 6,500 PSI too. It can't compress. It can't be a sponge, if you will. Everything on here matters. Okay. So now the 6,500 pounds everywhere. If this implodes, remember, it can't just go anywhere. There's still 6,500 pounds of force it's got to get rid of. So how do you get this explosion going on? It's the volume that's inside there that's being replaced with the water around it, and how fast it can shut it down and come back to that void being replaced with the atmospheric pressure of 6,500. This is the same thing on how what's called overpressure, how a bomb works. Here is 14.3, your atmospheric pressure around you right now, around you, stickman. All right, stickman, lean over. All right. And here's a bomb over here, and this bomb is within 10 feet of you. This bomb is capable of putting out to 12 feet once it ignites, able to put out 20 pounds of PSI. 20 pounds. Yeah. 20 pounds of PSI at 12 feet. So it explodes and it creates a shock wave. And you guys know about shock waves, right? But it goes to you and it's now hit you and it's still you're at 10 feet. It still can put out, I said 12 feet, it can do 20 pounds. So right where you are, it might be putting out 21 pounds of force at 10 foot away. If you are at 14.3, do that again, 14.3, and this puts out 21.3. We're going to round up. 21.3 pounds of force by the time it impacts you. You're at 7 PSI. That's nothing, right? It's only 7 pounds. 7 PSI. Its duration, and so its duration really counts, how long it lasts, the pressure, and it's the load. So 7 PSI, 7 pounds per square inch. I don't know how big your chest is, but let's just say it's 100 square inches. So 100 square inches times 700 pounds per 1 square foot of surface area. You're going to get 700 pounds. So that would be like someone throwing a 700 pound weight into your chest, poof, out of nowhere. You think you could take it? That's just your chest. It's your legs. It's your balls if you're a guy. It's your eyeballs if you're facing it. It's your eardrums. It's your lungs if your mouth is open. Pressure going into your overpowering your normal state of breathing in 14.3, blasting into your lungs. Okay, all of this kills you. All right, it stops you, and that's only 7 psi overpressure. When this opens up, this becomes a hydraulic cylinder. Hydraulic. It's literally fluid. All right. So I want you to see this as a tube, and literally the length of it, whatever this, and it's got a curvature at the front. So you had that. And at the back, I'm saying it's failing at the back. So the pressure that comes in compresses the air up here because air is compressible. Fluid's not, and I'm considered a person fluid. So if you want to throw them under fluid. When this comes in, it might be a slow leak initially. It turns into a catastrophic fracture that blows it open. Now, could it be right about here? Sure, I can test that. I put it at the seams right there, or the seam right here, and not have it here. I can pick here, though, because there's a fitting that goes through the shell that brings the utilities in. So I can pick the rear end. And with that, I'm going to pick the rear end. You can change this, but be careful. The more you move to the front, the more the forces are going to go back. All right. Bringing your attention to a Claymore mine. A Claymore mine is a directional anti-personnel mine. It's like that. Face enemy, face towards enemy. All right. And the forces can explode and go one direction, and you're back here, and you can be okay. Okay. Another one is a mortar, but this is like a Claymore mine. you can get directional forces where it only goes one direction. This is how they shear steel with when you're shearing steel for demolition, etc. It's not just blowing it, blasting out every direction. In this case, we have a pressure vessel that is reported, as everyone knows, great intention. So I want you to know that when water penetrates this and pressure penetrates this vessel, it's round now. It can take 5 inches. It can take that outward tension. Let me change the color here. There's the internal ring, and the external ring is the other one, and it's going to be pressure. The water comes in, and lo and behold, it's never been cycled this way, where water has been pressure from the inside out. It's not been cycled like that. So it's a new direction for the carbon fiber, and it can take most of it. Enough so that it can blow the door off, and not just the ring with it, because the ring is bolted, right? The ring's bolted up here. About 17 to 18 bolts. We understand that 18 is what it's supposed to have, and the guy goes to 17 sometimes. No harm, no foul. What it would be nice to know is what kind of bolts were they? Were they rated bolts or were they just regular bolts? This will tell us the pressure that before the dome blew off, the dome with the viewing station, if you will. Somebody asked me to tell them where they were. It was a panic mode, probably. They probably were all turning to look at him to see what was going on. If it's true about them saying that they're trying to resurface that they were going down too fast. Interesting, I have a video where I talk about could they be going down too fast and stressing the carbon fiber. That video's coming up in 1 or 2 cycles away with it's already scheduled, so it's 4 days away or whatever. One of those videos I talk about, hey, could he have been just hot riding it, is what I theorize, to get to the bottom so he can have more bottom time. Having more bottom time, he impresses the billionaires and he gets more money. Well, contrary to that, the person that I looked at the video stated that the inside scoop person, supposedly from the video, posted, is that he said that they were dropping weights and they were coming back up. He thinks it was because they were going down too fast. I think they were coming back up because a failure was happening. So this debunks everybody who says that they never knew what happened cognitively, this or that. During the implosion, they didn't, but they had some moments of terror, if you will, maybe, or they were all just calm as can be. All right. So now I get the joke also with the Rubik's Cube. The boy wanted to take the Rubik's Cube down. I also understand, no, he was not forced to go. He talked his mother out, is what I understand, to let her go to be with Father's Day, so the two of them could bond together. Too soon? Too soon on that one? All right. Anyway, so the pressure comes in. This is a cylinder. This becomes a hydraulic cylinder. Fluids in there pressing outwards. It's carbon fiber and including the outer shell of Flex Seal. Yeah, I know you guys know what I meant. It's not Flex Seal, so I don't want to get a marketing problem there. Including the outer layer of vinyl liner, as he states, held this together and directed the forces to the end of the vessel down here as a hydraulic force, as a pressure. The air compresses, the persons are back there, and they all meet in the back maybe. So that was where that is. So now this blows off. And how do I know it blows off and not with the ring also? Because they're not together. Unless they were together and they unbolted them, that doesn't make sense, does it? But let's say they're in the other ring also. So no, I have it that blows off. And doing so, the head first, it destroys the bolts. At the same time, there's only a little bit of ring around the left now, the edge, but it's continuously around the hole. So there's a little bit of a lip there. But it's enough for this hydraulic force to get behind it and pull the ring off. That, or doing the ejection and the forces being equalized, return to pressure from the ocean around it being overpressured for a moment, being charged like that with all that water in there, then it then crushed the carbon fiber, the recycle back to it. Doing so, it creates a back pressure, the back pressure wave, blows the rear door off, and also the ring. Yeah, so you get that. You get this one, and then that one. I don't have it. Let's do this. Could you move it around? Sure, I can move it to a little degree. So here's a dome, here's a ring. The ring, but I need enough pressure to stay in this chamber. This chamber to pressurize enough where it can break off both domes and rings. Unless you can explain another way the rings are off. So I'm just using pressure. Pressure this way to clear me from the rear of the vessel, and it looks like gold. Looks like you can resell it back on eBay. That whole back here. All right, so I get a pressure here and then a pressure wave back that takes off the back end with a internal pressure coming possibly from, I could never find it, how they made a connection. A couple of people said they use epoxy. I don't think so. As Pugface, if you do the link, they can see what it looks like for a submarine version of it. This, theoretically, since it was off the shelf, should have been connections for an unmanned submersible that goes down that deep, because there's no manned submersibles that go that deep. Well, that one did, right? A couple others, one-offs. But the unmanned submersibles, where they're tethered, and they can't leak, can't have water, the compartment's tethered. So it's going to have a nice watertight seal. And the watertight seal is kind of weird. You just screw it in, just like you would watertight anything else. And then the connections are out here. You saw the red connectors. I'll show them to you again. They go here, and electrical connections are right here. And inside, there's the other version of it. Everything plugs in like a jack. But we have the oxygen connection that's really crazy. I believe the oxygen is outside. I don't know if all their oxygen is inside the vessel. That would be nice. That's also something that you could look at for implosion. But that would be pretty tough also to implode that, because that's full of pressure itself. It's a pressure vessel inside a pressure vessel, but the PSI in here may be greater than the PSI created to destroy this pressure vessel. So the tanks may just be in place. The overpressure is what matters. It comes in at, I don't know what it takes to do testing, what he did with this, but it comes in, it only needs overpressure of 100 PSI to destroy this whole thing. I don't know. And that's a lot. Remember, 100 PSI per square inch. You do the math on what that looks like inside that inner ring per square inch. And you'll see you'll be into the tens of thousands in just a hot second of the pressure outwards. Now, that pressure outwards is being met again by pressure from the outside, still there, 6,500, still there. And that's why I can get my rocket going, my blasting that I show you, because the pressure outside, once the water gets inside, is still being countered by this pressure that didn't go anywhere. It's still 6,500. And inside, when it loads inside here, it's trapped in this tension band, this carbon fiber tension band with the vinyl liner. So it's not really making an exterior pressure. It's more like a torpedo. So you can do your own research on torpedoes. But here's somebody's comment in 2019. A submarine uses air-activated pressurized water to expel torpedo out of the tube. Pressurized water is what we're talking about, a hydraulic force, guys. So you can go down this line if you want to start looking at them to try to understand it better. You can research that. I'm going to use air. So pellet guns. Pellet guns uses air, and the direction of the air can only go one way because it's sealed off. After the air is shot into the chamber, the pellets in front, the air still pushes that pellet outwards. It's the same thing, except for now we're using water underneath here when a leak happens. It says, oh, we got excess. It becomes air. Well, it becomes hydraulic. It becomes water pressure. And you know what the PSI is. It's trying that it gets to push into that chamber. Into the chamber. Remember, the chamber, it does not have 6,500 PSI in it. It's got maybe 14, 15 PSI. So 6,500 pounds PSI comes blasting into that chamber. Maybe it starts flooding it, but at some point it cracks the rest of it, and it's supercharged. It's a big hydraulic cylinder driving through the front. Initially, it might be a small one. And if a crack happens and it's a catastrophic crack, then it's the entire pressure coming in. 6,500 also can be just, a real, so it's sudden. The speed of it is the suddenness of it. If I could bleed off the air from a pellet gun, it can't shoot anything. If I could bleed off the air from the submarine, it couldn't do anything, just, letting the air out of the tires. This wasn't bled off. This was continuous behind it and whoo, charge the head off. That's why we would know like the bolts. What could the bolts take on a head? And we can start determining what it takes to make 17 bolts fail with that dimension, what pressure it can do. And you can actually test that. You can look for it to see if it's punched through the holes of the rings that's around there, or if it probably did. Just tore the heads right off. I remember I showed you those screws. They look like a manufactured screw that I made in the shop and put a nut on the back end. I don't see that stopping much at all. It's on the nut side. It would be the back side of it, where the nut is, and on the side is that screw side. This is the only part that's stopping it. 17 spaced out around the ring, 17 or 18. It blows right through that. I do not want to say that the viewing station came out anymore until I want to wait for that, because I don't see that small viewing station, even with the low rated bolts on it. It also had a ring around it to distribute the bolts. It had a lot of bolts. And not one save. It didn't ring bend over or anything. If the lens cracked, would we not still see the rings? We don't see any bent bolts. It looks like a smooth surface. My guess is they removed that, either to hook it up when it was down in the ocean, or when it got topside after hooking up somehow. I don't know how they hooked that thing up to bring up that thing, but otherwise. Or in the ocean, they took down a ratchet and this machine could unratchet it. I don't know. They're drone. They're underwater man drone. So unmanned. So, or did they get to topside and they said, oh, well, that looks like some red stuff. So let's go ahead and take that off and take that red stuff somewhere else. We want to keep it. We just don't want to rinse it off. We want to be able to identify. So here is the front cover, and the bolt holes are there. And they're very small bolts, like I said. They're nothing special. Small holes, in fact. The outside pressure, we're going to keep it closed. And over here, though, we have an entire ring and convex, not concave, viewing station. That also, it might be flat on this side. I don't know. For distortion, I don't know how that works. It looks like it's curved inside. So that just makes it more focus the load path. But I just find it amazing it would be able to pop these screws. With that said, again, I don't know how this guy manufactured this. The screws, low tech or not. There's a video of him. You guys sent me. It shows that he went to buy some stainless steel, and after he was for this, and then he found out that not all stainless steel is the same, and the stainless steel he purchased was rusting. So he doesn't know how important metallurgy is with his design. So when we look at the recovered items, you want to see if this hinge is there. Did it blow that off also? That would be critical to know. It would tell you how the legs. Remember, it fails each leg. Each leg, this is gone. This is a connection, this weld and a connection. Very weak connection here, though. I'll show you in the beginning of the video. So here's the back of the vessel here, right, like that. And it secures on the ring here. Okay. So here's my securement here, as you see. All right, but of course it shears off, so I don't need that force yet to shear it off, and it's not much anyway. This is dimensionally stronger than the way you had it. So I want you to take note of how that's shaped. That matters. How you see the square, it's like this, and then it appears like a box tube on it. But the backside of this is not set like that. So the box tube looks like that, and then the anchoring part to this section here drops down in there and anchors welds. It's a very weak looking connection. So in other words, you can get this blasting off pretty easily. So here's for your viewing pleasure, a better one. There's that connection. This is the critical one. This is right there with the 3 bolts. 1, 2, 3. I'll show you in a second. And then this all made okay. There's your dome. The dome's right back here with all this pressure, all these devices that could blow up. It did not. I said it was very weak in the way they connected it. If you see, this is the manufactured part right down into there. With 3 bolts, or screws rather. 1, 2, 3. 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. Look down below that, right there. And it's in a tube. And as I zoom in here again, you see that it's open in the back. It's literally open in the back. There are those connectors I talked about, how they connect, how they just jack together. All right. And when this came apart, it jacked off. No, I couldn't resist it. Bad timing, too soon. All right. It helps you remember. Okay. So this is where I said I don't see how this cage down here is very hard to see how it's connected, but you can see the upright connected there. Very easy for me to get that tube going away. Remember, I need this to slide away. Only have 3 bolts I need to slide away on each side. Okay, let's get to it. I'll show you that video. Now I had to come back to here to get a better shot for you again, so you can take a look at that. It's nothing at all. You see it? It did shear off there. All right, whatever it's bolting into, 1, 2, 3, coming from here, whatever, how would they merge it? It sheared off. It's in the video. You can zoom in. I did the video on that. It's 2 hours long. I played Columbo in there. I gave you the hint, though. I said it would be such force. It would be, and I said, shit you not, I kid you guys not. It would be like a samurai just whacking somebody's head off. That's it. That's one of my Columbo moves. That's the way I'm giving it to you. Its speed is so great that it shears it off, the 3 bolts. And then I go into my Columbo move, more further Columbo move, but it's sheared off. Now, normally wait longer and give a lot more data to work you up here, talking about shear and talking about the carbon fiber, giving you all the background before I jump right into the model. Now I'm doing reverse. Bugface asked me to do a model also, so here's your model ahead of time. So we'll do this one. This is news, right? Here we go.
One of my sources has reported that about the time that they lost comms, or just before they lost comms,
about 45 minutes down.
they reported they were trying to release ballast. What that means to me is they were heavy. They were descending faster than they were supposed to. So they were trying to get rid of weight. That's ballast. They were trying to get ascending faster than they were supposed to. So they were trying to get rid of weight.
Ascending, coming up, guys.
That's ballast. They were trying to get rid of weight.
So you got to realize that means you heard cracking, which made it come in, or there was water coming in. And oh yeah, a lot of you think water can't come into a sub; it would just automatically fail. That's your belief. That's just you're wrong. All right, go research it. Believe that. I can't stop you from believing that. Don't forget, the Earth is flat.
Could have caused that. Again, maybe there was a computer glitch and their thrusters got stuck in down, and they were driving themselves down faster than they needed to, and couldn't fix that.
Okay, let's go with that. Let's go with that. Remember, I said people want to tell you the truth, right? That just might be the truth. They might know that as a maybe, like a Columbo move.
Or they suffered an incursion into the hull, so we had water coming in. That may have shorted out the electric.
Shorted out a leak. You just said.
You have short.
Son of a bitch! I just saw something. Is that a penetration through the hull right there? Pugface. I think we just found a penetration. You're good with actually tracking down another one, and that looks like air pressure line. So we got a regular standard air pressure line, and if that's the pressure hull, the back of it, then now we have our block, a block to look into also. Is it rated? All this stuff should be rated, or at least tested, right? To failure, and then you know the rating on it. So is that rated? But that's one of the blocks that would penetrate. It looks like the hull. And remember, you have the other connections. They connect here, so it'll be here, male, female type thing, and connect. Since we don't see a wire line coming out of here, I'm assuming it's not connected yet. So bam, right in front of me is the what I wanted to grab. Looking for forever. One of them. The more they do, the worse it gets as far as making the hull. You're dividing up, you're perforating the hull. Not good. And that's titanium even. So we come here now. Oh, I turned the volume down, sorry. We come here now and we look at the offloading of this. We're not going to do it much. We're just going to peek at it. There's the ring. Maybe this is the door hinge side. I think it is. Because I don't remember seeing something like that on the other side. And I don't see in the ring, I don't see the bolts, any bolt patterns. I don't even see them. Guys, it could be just photography just held everything down. All right, so there's the ring. That's just water. It was raining. All right, there's the ring coming up. You can locate that ring if you want to do it. There's the bolt to the far left. It's of interest to me that I've never been able to find yet. That would tell me which ring exactly it is and confirm it. All right, they're covering it over. I'm going to stop it when they bring up. There's the same ring or another ring. Looks in straight shape. Some of you said, "Oh, it looks deflected." Okay, whatever you see. You know, you can guess it, but you can't tell me it's deflected. Maybe there's carbon fiber hanging from the inside and metal on the outside there. That is, I don't know if that's a skid or not. It looks very thin. Somebody try to say it was a skid. I don't think so. All right, here's what my big issue is. It's coming right there. This is that part where I show you the how important this is because of the hold on. Because of, I'm gonna pull it up. It's not a different gallery. Here we go. Because this is where the bolts were 1, 2, and 3 on the left side. If you think the port is port side, left side, that's where the bolts were. It's not deformed. It's not bent out. It's still in the proper shape. We see our batteries in great shape, everything else. So this is why I do the torpedo action going that direction. That they sheared off. Now, talking to another engineer friend of mine, he said, hey, maybe they had cheap bolts also. All right, so he's saying the same thing. Maybe the guy, you didn't check the bolts. Maybe you didn't pull them out and inspect them because doing so, you have to support this whole structure back there while you pull them out and inspected them. So it was perfectly okay until you get this catastrophic event where it shoots it off. Or it still could be that I get the bolts shearing by the back ass weight of this falling off still. So that's not for free that I state that. It could still happen. I would sort of know that if I can look in the bottom part of the skid and it had a connection and it was bent like that. Because if this rotated out, if there's a top one here and there's a bottom one here and the rotation's this way, I'm going to get some issues here. Because this one can't rotate out also. It's going to have a buckling somewhere here. If this one down here is as smooth as this one, and the other one is also smooth on the opposing side, and the bottom is smooth, it's going that way like a skid. Like I'm going to show you in the model, like I'm going to demo you again. All right, so there's that piece there. So keep track of that, how smooth it is, not bent. And another video I'll bring it to your attention. This has been pounded, dented, and you can probably ask me if you really need to find it. Maybe someone will ask the general public, and maybe someone will be able to tag you in the video that I show that. Here's the opposing side that we can look at. There it is. It slides into this section. You get 1, 2, 3 bolts, okay? Zoom in on it. That's what so smoothly released itself. As you can see, the back area here has just a ring and bolts holding it. This has a weld, connects to the skid, that does that. Again, the bottom part down here, I have not been able to confirm that it actually has that connection. It appears that the drop weights are on 2 sides. Okay, so let's look at the model again that I made and go from there. So we'll put this model in the water, but this is the model with the fairing. All right, and I just put this on here loosely. So now you can see how everything lines up. There are the legs, there's the skid. The skid's wrong, incidentally. It should have one little leg going down. I should put braces in and all this stuff, but this is all I care about. This theoretical failure. Now, can I put a new cap on here, put another hole here, and charge it? Can I move the location of this, charging it here? Maybe I'll do that for you in this video. Maybe we'll shoot up one off here, see how this makes out with that accident. And then I'll go to the ring and make the ring have a leak. So I'll come up here and put a hole in it. Maybe most of the pressure will come back out. Maybe I won't get what I need. But we have the arms slide right off. All right, let's go for it. Let me move this over to the tank. So here's the cutest thing. Here's one of my strays, guys. That's what thumbs up for. Now she doesn't know I just put some meds in her what do you call it? But anyway, our project is right here. I have multiple things I was doing there, but I don't want to mess with her, and I don't want to mess my video up. That's who I call Nancy. She's a mommy already, and that's her. She's taking her meds. She's a stray. Oh, remember I said the murder crows? You hear them in the background? They also scream for food. So Nancy doesn't have a partner head. She's just like that. So that's her food. She's got a little shot of tuna in there, and yeah, eat it. So she has a shot of tuna in there, and a shot of Zap. You see what it is? The name of it? All right. So this works great for fleas. So making sure she has a comfortable life with her other two little kittens that you saw. That's her two little kittens. She's the one who carried them away when I put them down in a nice little area. Another story for that. But let's get back to this video. Oh, I guess I got to wait for Nancy anyway. So I could pause it or talk to you about Nancy. So I was going to move my trailer, and I heard this screaming, and I was like, "What the hell was that?" And so I grabbed the tarp, looked underneath the tarp a little bit, and there were two little kittens. Oh, the cutest things. But I instantly thought, "Oh shit! I killed some other cats." So I quickly see what I just threw off the trailer. Looked over there, nothing. It was zero. And Nancy, I put them. I snatched them up because they went around. I put them in a nice little comfortable box, and she did that video for you guys. And now Nancy came back. She watched me with the kitten. She wouldn't come and get them from me, so she trusted me with that way. And then I put them in a box over by the wall, waited, and she came and got one. And then a whole hour went by, and she wasn't coming back. So I ran to the store to grab the last bit of kitten food, that special food they had. And no sooner I got back, the person who was watching over the little kitten for me, Nancy came back. This one came back and already grabbed her. I just missed her, they said. So she's taking care of her young. Her two kittens. This is probably week 6 now, 5, 6 coming up. So they should be showing their faces soon. At least one, I hope. There were 2 of them. There were 2 of them, so we hope one shows up. All right, we should hope that. All right, let me go back. Let me let Nancy eat, and then we'll get back to the last bit of this content, which will be the run of that. I got to put some safety gear on anyway. This thing's pretty powerful. That pressure built up in that container. Right, Nancy? So I'm right here, so she lets me go close to her. Oh, for clarity, she walks up to me. That gets probably just close and sits down and looks at me, implying, "Hey, dude, this mouth doesn't feed itself. This mouth doesn't feed itself." And sometimes if I give her just nuggets, she's like, "Yo, dude, do you have any tuna?" Because she'll like, "Yeah, eat some," and then stand and look at me. I'm like, "Shoot, let me go crack it open. Let me get that tuna going." Okay, I'm gonna have to sacrifice that middle bar. I'm gonna cut that out because I think it'll be too dangerous. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna turn it a little bit that way. I'm gonna put the sub on top of there and charge it. I have it at a distance, so hopefully we can observe together. Let's see. Let's do it this way. Okay, I'm gonna charge it. You wanna see it? Probably gonna ricochet over there, but maybe I'll get lucky. Everything's charged. That's even better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So now you saw what an implosion looked like, huh? So no, it was water pressure, but the bottle broke the set. Hold on, let me tell this guys. So here we have. I mean, I couldn't ask for better, could I? The first one we saw this eject. This video, it didn't eject. It built up pressure and blew off the legs. I mean, how amazing is that? It blew the legs off. So I can't ask for a better demonstration than that, guys. Can anyone tell me why? And then look at that. Can anyone tell me why it blew up this time as opposed to the last time? Not because it was cycled. I'm not that dumb. I used a different bottle on purpose. I set this in there to wedge. I made a smaller hole and wedged it in there to get that tighter in. I wedged it in there to get the tighter seal, so I can create pressure. I thought it actually would break that. Go down there and crush it or do something like shatter that glass. I do have on safety gear, so I thought I was covered on that. That was dramatic, wasn't it? That's the version. You saw one version earlier today. This is a great new version. And there you saw the predictability of it. All right, plus we get our back end coming off. It's still coming off. What's that? Stone picked up. Okay. So, what do you think?
Well, never mind, Allie. I thought it was longer, but yet pretty interesting stuff going on. Let's see here. So what do y'all think? It's just crazy. I want to get into the secrets of the Titanic. I've got some stuff saved on that, and as soon as I get my house straightened out the way I'm doing, I'm going to get back into doing more of this, and I'm going to, like, I play this Summer Wells live, where it just shows her pictures and the TBI and stuff. I'm going to start doing that, like, every other day. Just let it play, I'm not going to be talking. It's just for Summer. I want to do that for her, and I wish I could do it every day. I'm going to try, because you never know. Someone might see it and 'Cause poor little Summer, man. People are so caught up in all this Kohberger shit, and they're missing everything else. All they think about is Kohberger. I agree, Allie. I agree. Let me see here. I can't remember. Did we talk about the human remains found yet? So no, I've kind of been all over the place. Okay, I'm going to play some here anyway. Let's see. Yeah, fragments. I don't know. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying fragments. It could have been anything. I don't know. Okay, so let me see here. On to the next here. Let me see. Let's talk a little bit about the Titanic. Got a few little things here on the original Titanic that I'd like to play if y'all are interested, because I'm going to dig into that too. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so here's some things for survivors and Eva Hart.
100 passengers survived the sinking, and only a handful of those are still alive to see the pictures of the ship as it is now. One of them is Eva Hart. This was Eva with her parents just 3 weeks before they boarded the Titanic. They were on their way to a new home in Winnipeg. They never made it. But Eva survived and still carries vivid memories of that night. We reached Eva Hart at her home in Chadwell Heath near London. Miss Hart, what was your reaction? What went through your mind when you found out that the Titanic had been found?
Oh, well, of course, my immediate reaction was that I, just as it always has been, that I hope they would never raise the Titanic. Because to me, just as a very ordinary individual, it is my father's grave, and I would rather it were left untouched. But today's wonderful news of this tremendously scientific effort makes me realize that if that sort of skill can possibly in the future do marvelous things for these matters, well, then, of course, I accept that it probably will be done.
Your memories of that night must be very clear.
They are indeed.
Can you tell us something about what happened?
Well, you know quite well what happened. The ship struck an iceberg, and I, like all 7-year-old children, of course, was in bed and asleep. But my mother wakened me, and my father went with my mother, and took me and placed me in a lifeboat, and my mother, and made no attempt to get in herself. But I really do owe the good fortune of my living to the fact that my mother had a tremendous premonition of disaster from the first time that she knew she was going in the Titanic.
Really?
And she said that to say that a ship was unsinkable, which is what the whole world was saying, to say that was flying in the face of God. And she begged of my father not to go. But when we finally went, she said, well, I shall not go to bed at night in that ship. I shall sit up at night and I shall sleep in the daytime. And that's exactly what she did.
That's
and so
remarkable.
Because she was wide awake, we got on deck in plenty of time to get into one of the all too few lifeboats. So I feel I owe my life to that premonition.
But your father did not get in the lifeboat. Why was that?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know the rule of the sea, don't you? Women and children first. No man is going to take the place of a woman or child.
And by the time the women and children were in that lifeboat, it was full.
Absolutely.
What happened then?
Well, we rowed away from the ship as fast as we possibly could, of course. And then it was discovered that the boat that I was in was very much overcrowded. And so the boats were all called together, and people would put one in another boat and two in another boat if there was room. And that transshipment, I got separated from another, which was quite terrifying.
You were separated from your mother.
I met her the next day, of course, aboard the Carpathia. She thought that I'd been dropped in the sea when I was put over the side of the boat. And I was too terrified to know what had happened. I didn't even think about it. All I knew was that she wasn't there, which was quite terrifying.
What did you see as you rowed away from the ship?
All I could see was the sinking ship. It was a terribly dark night. Starlit, but no moonlight. And this tremendous ship, which didn't sink for over 2 hours. Horrible sight. Dreadful sight.
Did you see the iceberg?
Yes, I did. It was the other side of the ship from where we were, but as we rowed away, and we looked back at the ship, we could see the iceberg, so to speak, behind it. That's the only way I can describe it. It was very large.
Were you old enough to know at the time what was happening to your father?
Oh, yes, of course. I was devoted to my father. I knew quite well I'd never see him again.
Would you like to know now who was at fault for the disaster? Would you like to know anything more about what happened, or does it matter anymore?
It doesn't matter anymore. I know what the fault was. The fault was that that ship was allowed to go to sea with too few lifeboats. And therefore, those 1,513 people who died that night need not have died. And it took a disaster like that to make the Board of Trade alter their regulations, which now says, of course, that you cannot go to sea without you taking enough lifeboats for everyone. But it took a disaster like that to bring that into being.
Because nothing is unsinkable.
Absolutely.
Ms. Hart, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and this next one I'm going to play is it says some haunting footage of the Titanic released to the public. Yeah, it's crazy, Allie, isn't it? Okay, let's watch this, some haunting footage released to the public.
Rare images of the Titanic at peace on the ocean floor were released this week. Some of the footage, shot during the 1986 expedition to the world's most famous shipwreck, has never been seen before by the public. The expedition's leader, Robert Ballard, described what he saw.
And then we came in on the starboard side of beam of the bridge. And the first thing I saw coming out of the gloom at 30 feet was this wall, this giant wall of riveted steel that rose over 100 and some feet above us. I never looked down at the Titanic. I looked up at the Titanic. Nothing was small. And as we rose up its side, because we had to abort the dive at that point because we were taking water into our batteries. And as we rose up after that first dive that lasted just minutes, we began to see the portholes. And it was like people looking back at us. It was pretty haunting, actually.
It took researchers decades to find the doomed ocean liner. The research expedition's engineer explained why it was such a challenge.
Titanic lies in a part of the ocean that you would describe as an abyssal plain. It's over 13,000 feet deep in the ocean. The water is near freezing temperatures, and probably the biggest challenge is the remoteness of the location, and in particular the harsh environment with regard to the pressure that our equipment is exposed to. So every square inch or centimeter is being pressed into a smaller space by the crushing pressures of the ocean at this kind of depth.
And what the expedition's cameras captured wasn't just rusting metal. It was a graveyard. When the Titanic sank on her maiden voyage in 1912, some 1,500 people perished in the disaster.
You were physically seeing their remains, which were eaten away and the bones dissolved, but sitting there were pairs of shoes. After the Titanic sank, those that went into the water that didn't have life jackets died of hypothermia, and their bodies came raining down. So it was like tombstones all over the ocean floor. A mother's shoes with her baby shoes. It was very powerful imagery to see where these people came to rest. And again, reinforcing that you were at a very sacred site where so many people died. And I think everyone wonders in their own mind, if I were there, what would I have done? Would I have, done anything to save my life? Or would I have, like the builder of the Titanic, Andrew, gave up his life jacket to a female passenger and went and sat in the smoking room and sat there and never budged till the ship went down with him. So it was just amazing play of humanity.
The Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution made the footage available to mark the 25th anniversary of the release of James Cameron's Titanic motion picture. This is Inside Edition Digital.
There's just so many secrets to this. And I never realized it until recently and looking into this. And okay, then this next one here is some of the original survivor interviews from 1956 and 1970. Right, Allie, it is. And I never really even thought about it much, until recently, until this Titan. And yeah, there's, like I said, coincidences. I don't believe in them. And yeah. Okay, but this is the last one I'm going to play on this. We'll chat a few minutes after this, and then I'm going to call it a night. About my bedtime. And I love you all. And I'll try and come back tomorrow and we'll do some more stuff. Because I wanted to do some stuff on Ron too. Which I might do that right after this because it's not very much. But just hang tight.
Mrs. Manning, where were you when the ship struck the iceberg?
In the steerage class.
You were emigrating to America?
Yes, I was coming over here to my sister.
If I may ask, how old were you then?
I was 16, going on 17. Be 17 in October.
When did you first realize how serious the trouble was?
Oh, I didn't until I got to this country. I thought it was part of the trip, to tell you the truth. I didn't realize that there was any danger.
You didn't realize there was any danger?
No, I thought that was pretty hard way to get here, but I didn't really think it was as bad as it was until after.
When the alarm was sounded, what happened?
Well, I was asleep at the time, and I thought then the ship had landed. So I thought we were here in this country.
Then you went up on deck?
And then I went up on deck, and then we were told to go down, that there was a piece of ice on deck, and that when they get it off, everything would be all right. But then we go to bed.
How did you escape?
Well, we were standing on the steerage, third class they call it, and then we couldn't get up to second. And of course, then there was one man with us, and he was our guardian angel, and he said, for God's sake, let the women up. So with that, I got up.
And then you
second.
And then you got into a lifeboat?
No, then I had to go to first cabin. The lifeboats were only going from first cabin. So there was a man on the second deck, and he asked me to go on his shoulder, and I climbed over, and then I think it was the last boat that was going out.
Did you take
They didn't want to let me on because there was too many on the boat already.
But you got into the boat?
But I said to the man, I'd like to go with my sister because there was a neighbor with me, and I thought he'd feel it. Because I didn't want to lose the crowd. I didn't really think it was any danger, but I thought I'd miss them in the dark, it was very dark.
Did you see the ship sink?
Oh, yes. I was looking at it sinking when we were in the lifeboat, because we were in the lifeboat for 9 hours.
And then which ship rescued you?
Carpathia. Carpathia picked us up then early in the morning, about 9 o'clock or something. I think it was about 9 o'clock in the morning.
Slocum, I believe you were in charge of the Turkish bar on the Titanic.
I was.
And where were you when the iceberg hit the ship?
I was in bed.
And when did you first realize things were wrong?
Well, naturally, the fog filled us up, and everybody got to their feet. And I went into a little passage, and I met the second steward, which was Mr. Dodd, and he said, for God's sake, get some clothes on, get up on deck. I said, what's wrong? He says, I don't know. So, of course, I had a coat on, a nightdress, and we got up on deck, and everybody was most cheerful.
When did you first realize how serious things were?
I didn't think it was serious because I didn't think it was possible a big ship like that could sink. And everybody was busy, and they was lowering the lifeboats, and the crew were marvelous. Everybody was cheerful.
And how did you escape?
In the last lifeboat, and I didn't want to go.
And then, of course, you realized things were very serious.
Yes, I did.
Did you see the ship sink?
I did. It sank very quickly.
That must have been the most dramatic sight.
It was, because you could just see the lights going down and down.
Did you hear the music playing?
I did.
Almost to the end.
Till the end, I heard them play, you know, Nearer My God to Thee.
Nearer My God to Thee.
And I met a steward, and he said, "You have got hold of this," and it was a baby. So I took the baby, and then when they lowered the last lifeboat, I didn't want to go. And they said that one of the other stewards, and Mr. Reed, he was helping lower him, and Mr. Murdoch, he was the chief steward, and he was shouting out, "Ladies, children and women first." They was marvellous.
And you took the baby?
I took the baby, and I didn't want to go, so they said, "Come on." And I went down in the last lifeboat, and there was, I think there was 72 in it. And you could hear the ice crashing the sides of the boats.
You saw ice all around you?
Oh, yes, crashing and the water, the ocean was as smooth as a pond.
And you were in the water until, you were in the boat until
the
daylight?
next, yes, by daylight. And then we was brought on to New York, and the Lapland brought us back to Plymouth, the survivors, which had to come back. So then, of course, we was kept there a little while, and then brought on to Southampton. Because that was very sad, because everybody thought you knew somebody who was lost, and I had so many friends on there, and you couldn't tell them anything.
There was no impact as such. It was just like jamming your brakes on a car. And that was that. She stopped. We had a porthole open, and I looked out, and the sky was clear, the stars were shining, the sea was dead calm. And I thought, I don't know, I couldn't understand it. So I came out of my cabin, and I thought, oh, I'd go forward. And I went forward to the well deck on the starboard side, and I could see ice in the well deck. There's no sign of iceberg then, because he'd passed us. And the lights were shining on the water from the portholes, no sign of damage above waterline. And of course, what had happened, we slipped over the iceberg. And although she was supposed to be unsinkable with a double bottom, the iceberg had cut her from forward on the starboard side to the engine room, right through her two bottoms. And we had orders to get the lifeboats out. And because the order, the same old order, women and children. And we swung the lifeboats out and gradually filled them up. First boats were away on the port side. The first boats away didn't have many passengers on board. They were afraid to go down. There was a 70-foot drop to the water, and they didn't think she was going to sink. And a few of the first boats on the port side got away with half filled. Don't forget, we had 16 lifeboats, and they each carried 50. And if they'd been filled, we could have saved 800, whereas we only saved 500. So you can imagine there were many seats in the first lifeboats vacant. Then I had orders to go down the storeroom with a gang of men and get all the biscuits we could find. But when we got back up onto the boat deck, we couldn't get near the lifeboats. Some people were scrambling to get in and being pushed back. By that time, she was listing very badly to port, and we couldn't get the starboard boats down. But before I got my lifebelt on, I met a young couple, and I can tell you her name. It was Mrs. Clark. They'd spent their honeymoon in France, and we picked them up at Cherbourg. And she was having trouble with her lifeboat. So I fixed that on to her. And I said, I think you'd better get into a lifeboat. And there was one in the port, on the port side. So she said, no, I don't want to go there. I don't want to leave my husband. So I said, well, it's just a precautionary measure. You get in, your husband will follow later on. And I got her away, and that was that. And then I picked up my own lifeboat and put it on. Then the third-class passengers were coming up. There were 700 of them. And they swarmed the decks and filled up the decks. And I thought, well, I'd done all I possibly could. I'd helped them all I could. And I thought, well, now I'll go up and get out of all this scrumming and go on the poop deck. And she was sinking fast then. And all of a sudden, she lifted up quickly, and you could hear everything crashing through her. Everything that was movable was going through her. And then she went down and seemed to come up again. So I thought, well, now I'm going to leave. And I was hanging on to a board. We had two boards, starboard and port, which said, keep clear of propeller blades. And I was hanging on to one of these, and I was getting higher and higher in the air. And I thought, well, now I'll go. And I dropped in. I had a lifebelt on. And I hit the water with a terrific crack. Luckily, I didn't hit anything when I dropped in. There were bodies all over the place. And then I looked up at the Titanic. So the propellers were right out of water. The rudder was right out, and I could see the bottom. And then gradually she glided away, and that was that. That was the last of the Titanic. I didn't want to die. I mean, I didn't see much chance of living, but I was gradually getting frozen up. And by the grace of God, I came across a lifeboat, and they pulled me in. And there was a fireman dead in the bottom. There was about a foot of water in this boat. There was another man who was trying to. He seemed to be trying to get away from it again. I don't know what was the matter with him. They were tying him down, and the rest were women and children. And I sat on a seat, and who should be? I sat next to Mrs. Clark, the girl I'd put into a lifeboat, and she said the first thing she said, have you seen my husband? So I said, no, I haven't. I expect he'll be all right. Anyway, I was pretty bad way then, as you can imagine, frozen solid almost. And she wrapped me round with a cloak. She had some sort of blanket or a coat on. Anyway, I think she probably saved my life. I don't know, but I saved hers. At least I think I might have done. I think I did. And she saved mine. Then first light, the Carpathia came along. Carpathia was about 7,000 tons, and they were going to the Mediterranean, absolutely loaded. And they took us all on board, took us to New York, and that was that.
I believe you've even got a watch that you were wearing at the time when you went into the water.
Yes, but I couldn't afford anything better in those early days. Here it is.
That says 2:20. What time was it when you went into the water, do you think?
I think about 2 o'clock. I think it lasted, it was frozen up like I was. I think it lasted for about 20 minutes in the water.
Does talking about this incident bother you like you have been today?
Talking about it? I should probably dream about it tonight. Have another nightmare. You'd think I'm too old for that, but you'd be amazed. You lie in bed at night and the whole thing comes round again.
On Wednesday, April the 10th, 1912, in brilliant sunshine, although the day was...
Okay, that's about all for tonight. I wanted to do some stuff on Ryan. I'm going to save that, and we'll do a live on Ryan tomorrow. So that'll give us something to do tomorrow. And thank you all so very much. I love you all, Nikki, Allie, everybody that's been here. And Allie, can you drop Justin's link? He's going live later, I think at 11. So everybody sub up to him. Let's help him out, get him some subs and watch hours and stuff going. I really appreciate you all. I do. I love you. And I will see you all tomorrow. And I'm going to try and catch Justin's live tonight if I can stay awake, because I just took my night meds, but I'm going to try to make it. I love you all. Good night. Adios, my amigos.